Multi-exclusive dimensional being card with another exclusive. Today's video is going to be about how to make money using astrology. Or this video is going to basically refer on how the key steps is where you need to basically be. Now, a lot of people in society, we all got caught up into some circumstances and situations that we don't want to be in. So, of course, it's all up to us to basically change these things and get up out of these circumstances and situations that we truly don't want to be in. Now, everything starts with you. Everything insists on your perspective. So, of course, if you're not willing to put in the work, if you're not willing to put in the time, then don't even bother. But, of course, if you want to make sure you're moving on from point A to point B, you got to make sure you have a plan. You got to make sure you have a dominant force or a task that you're going to basically stick with. So, of course, you already know the moon is in Taurus right now. So what is Taurus? Actually, what is the moon? Now, the moon is your feelings and your emotions, your illusions. So, of course, we got fire, which is the imagination, which is the fire. Then, of course, we need water to put out that fire, which is the waters, the feelings, the emotions. Then, of course, the water is basically how you going to be dealing with your feelings and emotions, which these things become heavy and these things become down into density, which they take form. They got to fall down. They got to come down here. So now you're talking about the moon. So the moon is very powerful. It's like the most powerful, most fastest moving planet that we can say of. So, of course, all the other planets they're going to take their time to basically move around. But when we're talking about a fast moving ass motherfucking planet, we motherfucking, like, the second fastest moving planets will be the sun. But when we're talking about the moon is your emotions, how you travel around, how you go within yourself, how you actually find your intuition, your instinctive natures. And this ain't dealing with logic. But of course, this is where logic came from. So once you know that, once you know what you're dealing with, you'll know that these feelings and emotions that we all have, even males, most importantly, of course, females too. But just know, everything starts within. And if you ain't going within, and if you ain't utilizing your power, then you're not going to be able to actually achieve or get to where you need to basically be. Everything starts with you. Now, of course, we live in a society where, we hate working, we hate doing this and things of that nature. But, of course, that's an illusion, too. Because they told your ass, oh, you got to do this, or you got to do that. Or they told your ass, oh, you have to do this in order for you to... No, fuck all that shit. You are in control of your life. So what you allow to happen to you is what you're creating for yourself. Understand and understand that shit. Now, also, too, before we even get into this video, you religious folks, too. Ain't nobody coming to save you. Ain't nobody coming to save you. The only person that's coming to save you is you. And that's it. You have all the fucking power. So just know you was talking to yourself the whole time. You was not talking to nobody outside of you. If anything, you was talking to your children, your feelings and emotions and your ideas. That's who you was talking to. You ain't talking to nobody else. Because what's going on inside of you is your reality. It's how you see things. It's how you present things. It's what you're catered to. You're not catered to anything else. And nobody else is catered to what's going on inside of you unless you're expressing this shit. So just know that. Just know that. And of course, if you're into astrology, for the naive people and things of that nature, don't be naive. Just know that this video gonna help your ass too. Especially if you're naive, especially if you don't know that you're doing if you're doing certain of these things subconsciously, you may not even know. But all you need to know is just only one thing that you need to actually look upon to in order for you to actually embody these characteristics and these traits in your life. So, of course, now, Taurus, what is Taurus? Taurus is earth, fixated in its own way of dealing with the thinking, the communication, practicality, stability, structure, home, comfort, security, home, coziness, of course, living life. And of course, we got to bring money into the perspective because that's everything that people truly desire now. Money. If you knew you was already rich, you knew that you have a world where you can create these things to play into a mechanism that you only going to be chasing the frequency and the vibration of it. That's all you need to chase. Because when you're chasing the frequency and the vibration mechanisms, physically is going to match that. So the universe and God have to align the alignment to put that in front of you, which it will fall on your lap. Now, this is going to be very hard for certain people if you're just basically getting this shit, but it's not going to really be that hard. It's just common sense. And of course, it takes an imagination, creativity, and belief for you to actually pull these things down into your reality. But everything starts with you, most importantly. So, of course, let's get into this. Now, you need to know the elements. So once you know the elements, you will know how to act in these natures. So let's talk about fire. Fire is intent, willpower, motivation, passion, desires. And also, it's fire, you got different modalities of fire. You got cardinal fire, which is initiating new ways on how to deal with fire, present fire, push out fire. And of course, you got another way dealing with fire is being mutable fire. Being able to carry that fire and keep going from here to here and adapting to other people's fires, other people's mechanisms, or other people's elements. And of course, you have another fire, which is fixed fire, which is the sun in the sky, which is, of course, fixated fire, which means it like to be fixated in one way of expressing and one way of presenting itself. So, of course, once you know that, let's get that out the way. Now, we're going to get into the water. Now, you got cardinal water, you have mutable water, and you have fixed water. So, of course, cardinal water is initiating, creating new ways on how to deal with the feelings and the emotions. So that means it comes up, it rotates, and it comes up with new ways and new mechanisms. As in, every day is a new experience with your feelings and emotions. Now, when you got this in fixed water is being fixated, which means it's frozen. It can't move. It's fixated. It's stubborn. It don't want to do what it don't want to be mutable. It don't want to come up with new ways of how to feel. It's just fixated. It's stuck there. It can't move. That bitch can't move. It's tied. It's on a mousetrap. It can't move. Only moving it's doing is stinging you. Get the fuck back. You can't feel this. Of course, we got mutable water. Now, mutable water is being able to adapt to feelings and emotions. That means it likes to go here. It goes here. It picks up feelings and emotions. So that's once you know that, then we're gonna put that down. Now, when you got air is thinking, the communication, intellect, interactions, learning. When you have cardinal air, this is initiating new ways on how to think and communicate. So you come up with new ways on how to think, communicate, interact. Boom, let's put that down. Then, of course, you got mutable air, which means you can adapt to your ways of thinking and communicating, and also adapt to other people's ways of thinking and communicating. Let's put that down. And, of course, you got fixed air, which you're fixated in your own ways of thinking and communication. It means nobody can tell you shit. You're fixated here. You can't move that bitch. Can't tell me that shit. I believe in myself. You can't tell me that, bitch. These are just examples. Now we got earth, last but not least, which is structure. This is how now after this we're gonna basically bring the physical money into our perspectives, and we're gonna basically run this shit down with the houses. And when we're talking about earth, we have cardinal earth, fixed earth, and mutable earth. Cardinal is initiating new ways on how to think and be practical when developing new structures and developing new ways on how to be practical. Fixed earth is being fixated in its own way. Now, we're going to relate this to Taurus. Fixated in his own way of thinking and being practical, which means you can't tell me shit. And, of course, I'm going to take my time and I'm going to plant that seed. I'm going to make sure that shit is right and nurtured. Boom. And, of course, last but not least, we got mutable earth, which is nurturing it. And, of course, speaking of this shit, before we even get into the houses, we're going to get there. Now, mutable earth is being able to adapt to its ways of thinking and communicating and being a service to people. That means it can be a service to people. It can adapt to things in its own way of being practical. And of course, it loves being a service to this. Like it can be a workaholic. And of course, when we're talking about the money, now, the money is going to be based upon your second house, your sixth house, and your 10th house. The second house is building it. The sixth house is being a service to it, making it grow, nurturing it, having a schedule, having a routine, a pattern. Your 10th house is basically building this bitch, structuring it. Now you're the boss. Pass me my blunt, pass me my liquor. I'm sit back, I did my job, boom. I don't got to work for nobody. I created my own business. That's basically the mind state that you need to be in. And it's going to play out to many mechanisms. But of course, this video going to help you to get you to that motherfucking cash. Now let's get into this motherfucking shit real fast. All right. What you need to do is get your birth time. Find out what time you was born so we can get straight into this. Some people may know the time that they was born, and you don't even need to actually search it up. If you know exactly what time you was born and what year and what month and what day, I can tell you exactly where your house is at. But if you do know exactly what time you was born, and of course, if you want to be able to actually search and find out what hospital you was at or born into, do that too. And if you don't have access to this, we can also figure out another way, which you can actually basically give to the money. But most importantly, you got to have your birth time and know what time you was born in order for this thing to basically play out smoothly. But let's get into this video because we about to break it down. Now where you have your second house at, second house is basically dealing with home, comfort, security, building, growth, security, finance, structure, money, status. Well, status is last. But money, basically with this second house, you need to find out where you got the second house at. And of course, I'm going to run down where you got the second house and how these things are going to be an influence in your life on how they're going to play out day-to-day basis. Now, we're going to start it off. The house, you need to find out the house lord where you have the second house at, and you need to actually embody these experiences and have on your heart, you have on your mind, your heart, and your soul that this is going to work out in this favor. And of course, you're in your natural alignment and you're in your favors and you're playing out the energies. So whatever how these things is going to play out, these things are going to gravitate towards you like a magnet field. This way, you're not planting the wrong seeds or the bad seeds. And of course, the moon is waxing right now, so let's not be playing around. Let's be planting good seeds on how we want to see ourselves and actually manifest this shit. So of course, most importantly, let's get into it. Now, with the first house, if you have the second house and the first house, you're gonna basically be valuing your personality, or you need to value your personality. Whatever personality you have to express, whatever personality you have to offer. Everybody have a personality. Now, what you need to do with your personality or your personal affairs or your personal circumstances and situations, your personality and how you express it, you need to value it, and you need to come up in your mind, your heart, and your soul that I will get from point A to point B if I express myself in this mechanism. You can have a personality. You can have any kind of personality of interest. You can like everybody have their own personality. You come up with millions of ways to have your own personality on how you push out yourself, how you do things, how you express yourself, how you talk. Shit, you just might be a bodybuilder. Shit, express that shit. That shit gonna bring you good fortune. Why? Because you have the second house and the first house, and that's your personality, which means you're selfish. You're working on yourself. You don't give a fuck about what everybody else say. You don't care about what nobody else say. You're valuing your personality, and you have one hell of a personality that you need to basically express and get off your chest. Now, when you express this, and when you believe in yourself, and when you believe in the process, these things will start to flourish in your life. These things will start to cater into your life. And this is how you're going to find the money. And the money is just going to fall in your lap as long as you believe in the process and as long as you plant the right fucking seeds and making sure you put in the time and energy work to make that shit grow. Remember, you got to be focused. Can't be focusing on nobody else's shit. You got to focus on your shit. Make sure you planting the right seeds. Make sure you're in the right vibration. Make sure you're in the right mechanism and shit like that. This is how this shit going to play out for you. Shit. Now, when you got the second house, when you got the second house in the second house, this is a natural alignment. So that means you really don't have to do much. You just need to value yourself, or what you have to value, or whatever you got to value. Make sure you valuing someone, something. You valuing a piano, you valuing your music. You valuing someone, you valuing a TV show or something like that. You valuing somebody, you valuing a person, place, or thing. Whether it be a mother, your father, some shit. This natural alignment is going to form right into your structures. And it's basically how you're going to develop the money into your presence. But you need to be in a frequency and a vibration and energy of, I value this person because of this, and the money is going to basically fall right in your lap.